Chanda, remind me to fix that. I did it again. Good.
Oh, did we get a double playback on that?
Yeah, we got a double on the echo and the thing because I'm running through the studio. Look who's here. Look who's here. There's the natural progressive. Good morning, Chris. So glad you could join us today. Great to see you.
I barely made it, but I did. So I'm happy to be here.
We're happy to have you here.
We're happy to have you here.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Chanda and Oz.
I miss Dames of Doom so much, so this is kind of like a morning Dames of Doom.
Yeah, kind of. And we'll get back to that. Don't worry.
Oh, I know we will.
I just got to get through some stuff. And yeah, then I'm going to really hopefully get back to it as soon as I am able.
We're going to have to pin down that Miss Whitney Alex because I miss her.
Yeah, I miss
her too.
Yeah.
Whitney.
Yeah, Whitney. I think we should try and get her on one of the evening dives if she can't come on during the day.
Yeah. I know it's hard for her to go on during the day because working from home and stuff.
Yeah, it's difficult.
Well, her husband's a teacher, and I think he's teaching from home.
Yeah. So she expressed that to me, so I think that's why.
Yeah, that's primarily why, and I know that she watches from time to time too. So I want to before we get to a couple of announcements, I want to make a shout out. It looks like Al was first in today. Good morning, Al. You get the gold star, and Cirrus is going to say, "Well, I've already been in." Cirrus, good morning, Cirrus, 1976. So great to have you here. And there's
be safe, Cirrus.
Yeah.
Be safe.
Yeah, be safe.
Be safe. Watch out for them cyclones.
Turn off the dive and run.
Yeah.
Oh, no kidding. If you need to, Melissa. Hello, Barbara.
Yeah, Barbara.
And Al.
Go look at everybody. J9 Campbell. Good morning, J9 Campbell.
Nice. Yeah. Oh yeah, I missed that one because it's not blue.
Yeah, we love our wrenches.
That's why I put everyone on my channel that stays there as a wrench because then I know who's new.
Well, we like to keep the house clean, and it's just it's just the way it is.
Well, nobody gets away with anything.
No.
I love
our trolls on my channel because they don't survive.
Yeah, and these wrenches, they are professional wrenches because you know what? They don't just bang everybody. They give them a shot and they put them in time.
No, they time them out.
Yeah.
They're
mine do too. Yeah, even though I have so many, they're great.
Yeah, they're thoughtful, and we really, really appreciate that. And you all should be, commend yourselves because you really do a good job. Because we're not a choir here, damn it, and we push that. And speaking of that, I do want to reach out and thank you, Brom, for joining Chanda and myself last night. It was a great
Brom
show.
was great. Brom's always great.
Yeah, great show, and we hope that Kelly joins next time too. We got just a housekeeping notice. That Outgo song I put up last night, we got punked. So we lost hard. They it was that Live Nation, which is kind of like the evil twin of Sony, if there is such a thing.
What is this? Why do I got a notice over my face? What was that?
I don't know. Maybe it's.
I think it's just your screen.
Yeah, maybe it's selling a Popeil Pocket Blitz Hacker or something like that.
Insight and awareness.
There's Vic. Hey, Vic. Good morning, Vic. Good to see you. So glad to see another one of our wonderful wrenches that just doesn't terminate on demand. So she's thoughtful.
Yeah, I hate thoughting.
Do you know we get swords over at Twitch TV?
Oh, really?
Swords?
Yeah. So I gave Al a sword yesterday, so we already have a mod over there.
All right.
Oh, nice.
Cool. How's that Twitch TV working out?
It's good. The picture on it is very clear. It must be close to 1080 if it's not 1080.
Yeah, we're gonna do that with this one of these days. As soon as we get a few things squared away, we got a lot of things going on. Anyway.
My daughter has a Twitch channel. I'll have to pick her brain about that a little bit more.
Yeah, I'm learning.
Yeah. Yes, Melissa. Instead, it was taken down. I had to go in and I had to trim off the song, and it took out the credits too, and we hate to lose our credits just because we have the memorials for Scott Galindez and and others, and Michael Brooks, of course, and the Free Julian Assange. Those are the most important things in our credits as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, me too.
And I hate to lose those, but they put it back up this morning, and I'm glad they did, because we don't want to lose good content because of some jerk wanting to punk us for using something. We don't monetize this channel anyway, so that's another thing. Anyway, let's get going with the first out of the gate. I made a promise yesterday, and look what we did. We have our sister and our brother and Johnny Sue on the ones and twos.
I love Combo Couch.
Yeah, Combo Couch. We love our sister and brother and Johnny Sue brother. Oh, down in California.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I mean, we were having a great time. We don't often get a chance to take a good selfie, but I thought that was a good time to nail it. So there we are. And with that being said, we are going. What are we going to do Thursday night, Chanda? We
are going to moderate a debate between Jose Garcia and Convo Couch's Pasta Jardula. Vote for Biden or not vote for Biden?
Yeah, we're looking forward to that. Jose Gloria. It's Jose, right?
Yeah, it's Jose. Jose Gloria. That's
Jose
right.
Gloria. And
I'm rooting for Pasta. I'm betting Pasta will win the debate.
Well, yeah, you know what? Pasta reached out, and he wanted a third party, so it wasn't an in-house sort of thing. And I agree, and I hope that when we get to that point, that Pasta will host us when we're doing a debate, because I'd like to see Chanda go to town on somebody, and I know that Pasta. It's going to take.
I would love to debate anybody on the Green New Deal.
Yeah,
I would love it.
Yeah,
and that's we need, Chris. We need that. We need that so much. We need to start educating the progressive movement that the Green New Deal in the form that it is in, that the Democrats are talking about, is bullshit. All it does is enrich the the corporatists. All it does is deplete the earth of all of its finite resources and screws the little man in the process. So yeah, it's definitely something that needs to be shoved down the progressives.
It absolutely does.
Shove down it. I'd shove it up. I mean,
you have to be open-minded and actually think through the process.
Listen, figure out where, my really good friend, she is very conscious of the environment, and she goes and she buys a Prius, and oh, look, I'm driving an electric car. And I'm like, do you know how much oil is in that car? Just the dashboard alone, just the tires alone, all the resources that had to be manned to make that battery. Like
all the child labor to mine the precious minerals.
She's like, what are you talking about?
The destruction of the environment in the production and mining of the materials, everything. Like we can't continue destroying the environment to benefit humans, because it's eventually going to catch up to us, and it won't be good. It's not good already.
It is catching up with us.
And it's wonderful to have Chris here today, because we gave her a segment having to do exactly what she's talking about. So thank you for volunteering.
And I haven't heard this, so I guess he's going to play a clip that I didn't hear, but I guess it sounds like.
Oh, it should light your fuse, and you'll be blowing up in the room. But this again,
we haven't had a good Chris blow off in a long time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yeah,
absolutely. This debate is going to be Thursday night, 6 p.m. Pacific on Uphill, and it's going to be run on several different platforms, not just the 5, but they're going to restream it on theirs and others, I believe. So we're looking forward. So Shanda's going to dress up, and I'm going to dress down. It's going to be a lot of fun. And
nice.
Well,
Brent McKinney has joined us, and so has Chelsea.
Yeah,
and Juliet Nicole.
Oh, Juliet! Hi, Juliet. Good morning.
Auntie Ann has joined us.
Ann.
Sorry, I like to shout out to the people who join us.
I know.
Important
we love to too. That's the whole point of doing this.
Too.
Our chat and our fam.
As a matter of fact, we've got a $10 super chat from Brent McKinney doing the Al Wolfie dance. Hey. Thank you, Brent.
Thank you, Brent.
That's so kind of you. Thank you so much.
Support these guys.
Yeah, we need that support. We really do appreciate it. So let's get going so we can get to our environmental segment here. We don't have a ton of stuff here today, but what we do have is content. So Chanda, you brought this. What is this?
Okay, so those who tuned into the evening dive that we took last night, we were talking about how Trump had ceased all talks with the Democrats over a stimulus, and he pretty much just said, F you, once I win, then we'll pass a bill. And that was earlier in the day. The airline industry lost its shit. Stocks were tanking. The market went down. And, I don't know if it's because Trump's on these goddamn steroids, and I've been on steroids. They will whack you out and make
especially
you
that strong. Everything
but,
I've heard about the one he was on the dextro, whatever.
Yeah, dextromine, whatever.
I can't pronounce the names, but he just got messed up, and then he took it back.
He took it back like 7 hours later before he went to bed. He tweets out, send me a standalone bill for the stimulus for $1,200. And
I agree with that.
Sign
that
it immediately.
Everybody.
So he kind of put it back on Nancy. But does this really put it back on Nancy? Because Nancy don't give a shit.
No, Nancy doesn't give a shit. And he knows it. I don't know.
This was just mental. I found this so mental. Like, this was not strategic. This was, oops, he fucked up. And his people were in his ear yesterday going, dude, you just might have lost the election.
Oh, yeah. That's the first thing I said after I heard that tweet.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I guess we get Biden.
Yeah, right. Me too. I'm like, fuck, Trump just lost.
Not that it matters, because I really don't think it matters, but it's you stupid fucker. I mean, at least if he cared, he would, if he wanted to win the election, he would definitely give the people what they need. And Biden has no power. He has the power. Yeah. He said himself he could do an executive order and get the stimulus out. Yeah. And when he was on the old, we need $2,000 stimulus payments, that's when he was popular. And now, do that, say, nope, no stimulus till I win. And it's like, no, dude, you're not going to win. I mean, you promised something, you fight, you said you're for something, and then you just snag the carpet under everybody.
Right. And to be clear, we don't support Trump winning or Biden winning.
No, we don't. I don't care who wins, but I do care about the people and everyone who's miserable, who lost their job and their insurance along with their job because of the stupid system we have set up. And I'm sick and tired of election commercials. I want to shoot.
Oh my God, I know.
I am too.
And the lies by both sides.
Oh yeah, it's terrible.
So-and-so's trying to take away your insurance. No, so-and-so's trying to take away your insurance. It's like,
they're both trying to take away your insurance.
Yeah. They both want to privatize it and make gobs of money off of people who can't afford to do it and go bankrupt trying to save their lives.
I have a visual metaphor of this whole thing. It's got the Dems on one side and Trump on the pukes on the other, Nancy on one side, McConnell on the other. This is a tennis match with a big ball of shit in the middle, and they're just hitting that ball of shit back and forth to entertain the audience. And yesterday I said Trump is definitely trying to lose this election. And the thing of it is that I don't know. Who's going to win? I don't want to see Trump win because I'm sick and tired of him and the rest of them. But it doesn't make any difference at this point.
It doesn't make any difference to me who wins at this point. I mean, they're both out to fuck the regular person and make money for their donors. Yeah. That's it.
That's exactly it. And speaking of the regular person getting fucked, Crystal hit it out of the park this morning on Rising Again. I'm partial, but I don't agree with her all the time. But this one, she's right on.
Of course, is the human toll. Here's how one devastated flight attendant said farewell.
Before we go our separate ways this evening, I'd like to leave you with a few words. As all of you know, the airline industry has been impacted greatly by this global pandemic. Our routes and flying have been significantly reduced, resulting in our company having an overage in staff. For myself and one other crew member on our flight today, this means we'll be furloughed October 1st. And unfortunately, this was my last working flight before that day comes.
Can you hear any of that?
Hardly.
I'll seeing your faces today. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for the kindness shown on today's flight.
Yeah, she's crying.
In addition to these workers, there'll be no more money for schools to help them reopen safely so that our kids can go back. The heartbreaking toll that these lost days and months have had on our most vulnerable children will never be reclaimed. In addition, state and local governments are going to struggle with budget cuts and layoffs. For a preview, you can go to New York City, where they've contemplated sending in the National Guard to clear the trash that has piled up since garbage removal has been cut back due to budget constraints. There will be no help for restaurants and other small businesses who have been decimated in this crisis. Surveys suggest that around 40% of restaurants are going to have to close their doors permanently. And keep in mind, people don't go into the restaurant business because it's the easiest way to make money. They open a restaurant as a passion, as a labor of love. They put their heart and their soul into it, and they enrich their communities in the process. Those closures represent hundreds of thousands of American dreams up in smoke like it's nothing. I will never forgive Trump for abandoning Americans right now. He was the only person who solely held in his hands the power to get this done. I don't want to
I'm
let
pissed.
Pelosi
This
off
one's
the hook
pissing
here
me
either.
off.
She decided for electoral gain, she would rather Americans have nothing than give Trump any kind of a win. Now, she's probably correct politically, but it is an unconscionable and frankly psychopathic position. Trump's position is both politically idiotic and psychopathically cruel. The bottom line of this recession, which has ultimately dictated the lack of response, is that no one in this town actually gives a shit about the people who were most impacted.
That's the
point. This was the most unequal recession of all time, devastating the bottom half of the country and leaving unscathed or even benefiting the top echelons of society. If ever you wondered how much the people here actually care about you, you now know in absolutely no uncertain terms, they don't. And Sagar, that's the bottom line.
Yeah, it is.
This crisis has been invisible to the people in this town. Hasn't come to their social circles, hasn't come to them, hasn't come to their neighborhoods, hasn't come to the stock market. And so they feel free to play with people's lives like it's a game.
There you go.
I'm sorry.
Okay. No, that's okay.
Needs-
Go ahead.
I have so much to say about that too, but Chanda, you go first.
Okay.
Somebody needs to inform Crystal that Trump can't just sign an executive order and give us all $1,200 or $2,000. If he could, I think he probably fucking would have done it by now. It has to come from the Senate. And who's been stonewalling all of these negotiations in the Senate? The fucking Democrats. And it's, you know, like this bill that they just introduced last week. There was so much bullshit in it that enriches the elite. I'm glad that the Republicans shot it down, not because, and they didn't shoot it down for those reasons. They shot it down because it wasn't fiscally conservative, but still, the Democrats are busy trying to enrich all their goddamn friends. They don't give a shit about the bottom half of the country, who's losing their jobs, who's losing their fucking houses. And Crystal sits here and blames it all on Trump. I just know that's not a fair analysis of what's going on.
She threw Nancy Pelosi in there, but for the most part, yeah, she laid it onto Trump.
Bit.
Yeah, Christine, unload, and then I will make a quick comment and we'll finish up the segment. Go for it, Christine.
Okay, I'm kind of disappointed in Crystal, and I've loved her in the past, but I'm super disappointed that she's not putting it out there that on both sides, like pinning the blame equally on both sides, but actually more on Pelosi, because Pelosi, you know, she did this interview where she said, you know, as speaker, she has awesome power. She could shut down anything the Republicans want to do, but she hasn't done that. She's voted all for Trump's agenda all throughout this. She has not voted for the people. And on top of that, the other thing that frustrates me is I think the airline business should go out of business or at least reduce significantly anyway, because that's what we need. It's not for the pandemic, just the pandemic. It's just the environment, you know, all those trips that are not necessary. When we have technology like this, we do not need to travel all over the world. We need to live locally. On top of that, it's just, we need UBI. So people like this and Medicare for all, UBI, Medicare for all, for people who are going to lose their jobs and have to stay home.
What happened to her audio?
Whose audio?
Chris.
I can hear her.
Can you guys hear me?
Okay, I got you. It was my end. Sorry.
Oh, Cheeseman's here, by the way. Julie loves here too.
Hey, Bri. Chili. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, Christine, I have to say, people are going to say, oh, Christine said she wants all those people to lose their jobs. No, that's not what she said. What she said is it's the same argument that people give us about the meat industry and the factory farming. Look, we can't have this shit anymore and want to save the planet. Honest to God, you know, you can't have airlines flying around spewing that shit into the atmosphere and expect to make headway on that. Yeah. You can't have these luxury liners that...
Why prop up business like that? Like even the fossil fuel industry, and we're giving them all this money from our tax-paying dollars, and then to do that.
We're not going back to that instant gratification mode anymore. We can't afford to. The planet can't write any more checks to us to keep us alive. That's the point. We know we need to change these industries to actual permaculture, to actual saving species. Instead of killing all these insects with Monsanto and the rest of those fuckers, we need to get them to thrive. We need to build our environment back. That's building back, Joe Biden, not your bullshit bullshit about, blue horse shit. So anyway, let's finish off this segment, and then you guys can argue with me.
We haven't even gotten to the environmental stuff yet.
I know.
The country's going to burn. October to when? Maybe January? You think Joe Biden's going to pass a massive stimulus?
Oh, remember the pantry's bare? Remember that
so
line?
It's like, I'm like, I don't know. There's nobody coming. And that's the part that depresses me the most.
And it's so much of it is because the population that's impacted at all, because it's so unequal, and the people at the top are like doing fine, some doing better than ever. That is the big reason why nothing has gotten done. It is completely revealed who people in this town actually serve. Jeff Stein tweeted out this morning he's always monitoring the our unemployment subreddit over on Reddit.
This
the
point
top
here.
Post on our unemployment was suicide prevention hotlines.
Yeah.
That's where people are struggling. I mean, the psychic blow to you when you lose your job, when you lose your livelihood, when you don't know how you're going to keep anything together. And then to add on top of that, like obviously the stress of lockdown and the stress of everything that's going on in this country, and the realization that people here, they just don't care.
They don't care. Chris, can you relate to that a little bit?
Oh, no. I just lost my job. And it's, even though I kind of did not want to work in that industry anymore, it was still a shock. It's still troubling. It's still hard. And I really relate to those people who are losing their jobs. Only I'm in a much better position than a lot of them, thank God, because I have disability insurance, long-term disability insurance. So I'm in a lot better place, but still I make $1,500 less a month than I used to make.
Yeah, you don't have a livable wage anyway. So I get you.
So it is what it is. And it is depressing. Like I'm going on this major cleaning spree, which kills me. I can only do 5 minutes at a time, but being in these four walls, whatever, 24/7, you start to notice all the flaws and think you have too much stuff. Like, oh my gosh, I just want to get rid of everything and stuff and not have anything to weigh me down.
Yeah.
But that's a totally different story. I'm so frustrated with them propping up industries. And they would have done a standalone bill for the airlines. I think the Democrats and the Republicans would have agreed on that. They were talking about that, but not a standalone bill. So this is where I think Trump's right, is saying, hey, I'll sign it today, put a standalone bill to do the stimulus, which helps every single person. Everyone on unemployment. It helps everybody who's working the workers, the mandatory workers, and it helps anyone who's not working. It just helps everybody immediately. And I don't think it should be one time. I think it should be monthly until this thing is over, so we don't have to go through this stress every single time.
Yeah. Well, this is by design. This is the culling of the herd. This is the separation of poor and the wealthy. I mean, this is it. I think this is their big grab. And
they're loving this power grab. They're putting all the small businesses, all the competition out of work, and they're just grabbing it all up.
What is this, Chanda?
This is a message from your founding father. If I was still alive, I'd bitch slap all of you Americans for allowing this shit. Grow a pair of balls and take back your government.
I'm thinking I agree with that. I've got to say, honestly, Melissa, she was talking about a different fuel for these airliners, which I think fuel would include technology. But Melissa, okay, we need to invent a transport. I'm with you. As long as we can make it a real, actual, not greenwashed system. So this is
as long as it's not relying on rare earth minerals that need to be mined.
Absolutely.
And that includes metals, steel, and all that.
Yeah.
It really, like, if you see the mines where they mine for metals, they clear the land. There's no more wildlife there. We've killed 70% of our wildlife since 1950.
Yeah.
How much longer are we going to last?
Yeah, we can't we can't write those checks either. On what is this?
Yeah, we can't.
Yeah. What is this one?
Oh, this is just a little funny thing. So this is a right-wing site that I found this on because, of course, the left's not going to talk about this. But Trump has a Hollywood sign now.
He does. He's had a star on Hollywood for a while.
This is an actual in the Hollywood Hills, like
on the mountain.
Like the Hollywood
Sound.
land, yeah.
Oh my God!
Man, no.
What the hell? Okay.
But what does that tell
This is
you?
one of the greatest things that I have seen this year, and you guys
The
are going to
greatest.
get an absolute kick out of this. This is coming from a year where we have had such amazing things like Trump boat parades. We've seen Trump 2020 fireworks, and now we have reached the ultimate climax of it all. We have finally gotten a Trump Hollywood sign right in California. I never thought that there would be a day where someone from California would put up a Trump sign.
What the hell?
Okay, so that, I could only bear 30 seconds of that guy. But yeah, what does that say when California, the bluest state, supposedly has Trump signs like this?
That's insane. I mean, it doesn't surprise me. And I see that here in Utah, the Trump cult,
Right.
and he can do no wrong.
Oh, I know.
Absolutely no wrong. They'll make excuses for everything he does, even if he's shitting on his people. They'll make excuses for it, and I just don't understand that cult mentality with any politician. I just don't. It's like,
Yeah.
if you have ideals, stick to your ideals, no matter who you're talking about. Give them credit where credit's due, and criticize them when criticism is due. That's
Think for your damn selves.
All
no
right.
shit.
No
I don't
shit.
understand that. And people calling him the leader God has chosen. I just
Oh
seen
my God.
Al Walsky.
and said that, and we just gotta deal with who God chose for us.
Oh my God.
And it's
No
like,
kidding.
okay, where were you when Obama was president? And you were shitting on him even though he deserved it. Really? He wasn't the chosen one because he was black? Or, I mean, I just don't understand. Obama was terrible. I'm not for any of them. Just
I know.
mind you.
We get you. We get you.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
We're gonna jump.
Oh,
to-
Snork's here.
yeah, Snarky.
Hi,
Snarky.
Mitchell. How are you?
Hi,
Al
Snarky.
Walsky says, let's knock the T down.
That's.
And put an H up
Oh shit. Yeah.
or a D.
Yeah.
Dump.
Or-
Yeah, dump.
Yeah. We're going to jump the
Yeah.
tracks here real quick and listen. Amy Goodman here. Chanda, you brought
Oh,
this.
so this is
one.
a follow-up report to the couple in was it the Carolinas that pulled guns on the Black Lives Matter protesters that were marching through their neighborhood.
Yeah, I think Trump wanted him as Secretary of State or something. Here, let's see.
Well,
what
yeah,
this
they
is.
did
It
open the
states a
RNC
grand jury
last
in Missouri has indicted a wealthy white St. Louis couple who brandished guns at Black Lives Matter protesters who marched by their home in June. Mark and Patricia McCloskey were charged with unlawful use of a weapon and evidence tampering, both felonies. In August, the couple spoke at the Republican National Convention.
That's who's speaking for them as convicted felons.
And then they have Kasich at the Democratic Convention and Colin Powell and all those other people. What am I living in opposite land or what the hell is
We
that?
are in.
I think we are living in opposite. Anyone with half a brain cell
Yeah.
in their head is living in this crazy world that we can't fathom.
Yeah, DC lives in a bubble. I want everybody to get out their shop vacs and suck all the air out of that bubble, please. I'm so sick of that
Stop
shit.
that bubble.
What the hell is this? The hamburger?
I have a couple.
Yeah,
shot
so this is she was convicted. It says put the hamburgers in the fucking bag. I just find this hilarious because she did look like the Hamburglar out there with her striped shirt and her gun.
Oh God, I'm being inspired for my Halloween costume for Halloween night.
Yay!
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Okay, we need to make a quick call out for what's happening tonight. We're going to be doing a special with a debate tonight, at least in the green room. And so everybody, we have Kamala Harris and Pencey tonight, right? Kamala. But I thought I grabbed this clip out of Rising this morning. I happen to agree with this. So.
Yeah, this made me sick.
Cover of Elle magazine in just the most glowing. I mean, we were just talking
Wow,
about this.
nice suit.
It's so annoying whenever the politicians get the celebrity treatment.
Find it disgusting. And I don't care whether it's a politician I like or don't like or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, these are not your friends and your idols. These are people who are competing for power.
Yes.
And part of why, again, it is interesting, one of the aspects of tonight is that it will be interesting is Kamala's faced very little in the way of actually tough questioning. And this piece from Elle magazine,
Other than when
is
Tulsi
a
kicked her ass all over.
I know they
I
didn't
know it's
mention
Elle,
that.
They're not like hard hitting, whatever. You gotta at least ask her a few challenging questions. But it was a total puff piece. The headline is Kamala Harris is fueled by optimism. The woman who could be vice president on the fight for justice and freedom she's been waging since birth. And that was the tone of all of the question was like, what was it like growing up and instantly being brought into the movement? She gives all these very like vague Pete Buttigieg answers that mean basically nothing. And it's like, Jesus Christ, here we are in the middle of a pandemic, in the middle of economic fallout. We're going to cover that more in the show. All of these massive major issues. And these are the questions, not one single tough question about anything that directly affects people.
Yeah.
You know she's in my state right now, right?
Really?
Oh, Kamala.
Kamala? She's trying to get the
Yes,
Mormon
and
vote?
she has been touring and sucking up to the Mormon population here like crazy. Oh, those Mormon pioneers, weren't they so brave and strong and faced so much hardship to make it here to this great state? Oh my gosh, she's pandering
Like she gives
so
two
hard.
shits.
She doesn't give two shits, no, but she's pandering big time to the Mormons and trying to.
Not shocking. I love Melissa says, "Oh my God, from birth." Yeah,
from birth.
Follow me. We covered how Kamala got into politics, and it basically, and I would never say this about another woman if I couldn't prove that it was true, was on her knees. And we've covered these stories. She was dating a married mayor of San Francisco who gave her some very prestigious committee appointments and launched her career for her. Not to mention her time that she spent with, who was the Hollywood guy?
Oh, yeah. Now you made me forget.
I got Montel Williams.
Yeah,
Montel.
Montel. Wasn't he selling blenders last time I saw him?
Yeah, right.
Something
Remember,
like
she was the chosen one from the Democratic Party during the primary.
She always has been. That's why they had her drop out before, because they knew they were going to push her for VP.
It's all about
but then Biden will get in and he's going to have a problem and they have to take him out, but then she will be president.
Yep, this has been their plan.
They'll get everything they want. It totally was. I totally think it was.
She was out fundraising a year and a half ago in the Hamptons. She knew damn well the money she was going to need.
Yeah, she's that top tier candidate. I was that little girl. So, that's just a preview of the garbage that we're going to have on tonight. So
I'm already feeling nauseous.
Let me know if you want to join us in the green room. Bring something to drink.
Everybody's welcome. You don't have to come on the show. You can just hang out in the green room.
Yeah, and I don't know. It'll be a limited thing because we got, like I said, we got punked last night, and I don't want to take another chance today. This is, okay, Christine, you're on. We want you to listen to this. We want you to listen to this, and then after you can...
okay, because I haven't heard this before, guys.
All right. By the way, this is a terrific interview, the whole thing. It's like 26 minutes. But if you want to really learn something about Josh Fox and greenwashing, this is it.
Oh, he's the one that was making all the big fuss about Michael Moore's...
He got it pulled down.
He got it pulled down.
Yeah, he had it pulled down, but Michael Moore got it back up.
Yeah, he had it pulled down for a week, but this guy, he is just terrible.
He's something else.
Yeah.
He's something.
We see his true colors.
Here we go.
Grassroots environmentalists who have dedicated their lives to understanding what it will take to save the planet, and who have gone completely against the grain of the narrative that we're hearing from within the Democratic Party about climate change and a Green New Deal, and have produced a film that appeared for free on YouTube, Planet of the Humans, that really at its core was an anti-capitalist film that points to endless growth, endless neoliberal capitalist growth and consumption as the biggest problem, and shows the renewables industry to not be the solution, that we're not just going to be able to produce a bunch of electric batteries and solar panels and wind turbines to save us from climate change. And if you just look at climate change, you're only looking at part of the problem of the destruction of the earth. For example, all the electric batteries that are being produced to make the electric cars, which will be mandated for all California consumers in the next 10 years, those require humongous amounts of mining. And you mentioned the lithium coup in Bolivia. Well, lithium is one of the major minerals that will be required for electric car batteries to make Elon Musk's fortune. And his fortune is mostly government subsidized, even though he's a libertarian. So the mining industry is extremely excited about this transition to so-called renewables. And there's not even really any clear evidence that it will actually be possible to power this massive economy off of it. So they're offering an entirely different solution, which I think is more subversive and radical than what these people who have linked their hitched their wagons to the Democratic Party's star are willing to offer. And that does include Josh Fox. And
so there you go.
Oh man. Okay. Wow. That's a lot. He's so right. He's absolutely right about all of it. And I don't care what anybody says about any new technology that's coming up that could replace that. There are parts missing, like all the destruction of the wildlife, and we can't keep continuing to destroy the other lives around us and not ultimately end up destroying ourselves. So honestly, we all need to have an honest conversation about this, and we need to follow the money and see who's pushing for what fields. And if you don't understand by now capitalism is destroying the planet, then there's something seriously wrong with you. You aren't thinking for yourself. You're just the greenwashing crap to make you feel good. It just makes me mad. We have to have a real conversation, and part of it has to be preserving the natural world, the biosphere. Part of it has to be that, because without that, it doesn't preserve the air we breathe. It doesn't preserve the land we live on. The clean water. I mean, we got to consider these things. Nobody considers clean water. I live in a desert and we're in a mega drought right now. And yet they're planning all these new developments. The freaking temple, the Mormon church, is building a temple like 15 miles away from me in the middle of rural America. And they want to make it into a big, giant hellhole of suburbia, like all these plants. And then we'll have travelers coming in here and just destroying this, what used to be a very pristine place. You know, you already can't go up into the mountains the last year since, or at least since this COVID thing happened. Everybody's going up into the mountains that I used to enjoy, and they're destroying it. They're trashing it. They're pooping in it and throwing toilet paper and oh my God, they're destroying the natural world. And it's disturbing to me. And people just think we could just stuff more people on this planet without being concerned about air, water, food. I mean, we can't keep feeding this many people and save the wildlife. Oh, okay. All right. I'm sorry. I'm trying not to yell.
That's all right.
I don't do well on this topic.
We understand. Before I let Chanda fly on this, so they're building another launch pad for the Mormons to take off to planet Kolob. Is that what you just said? A Mormon temple?
Another Mormon temple, yeah.
Oh my God. Oh.
And you know what? Even the Mormons that live here were against it.
Oh, good. Well, maybe they're starting to.
No, they over the city council being bribed and all.
Well,
overrode the people who actually live here, even the Mormons.
Yeah.
And the Mormons moved out here to be in a rural area, to be away from the city, and then they're just going to bring the city to us. And it's annoying to people who want to. I bought an old house in the country. I didn't want to build. I didn't want to cause more destruction. I bought an old house that already existed with property that was already there. And when I go in the mountains, I am very respectful. I don't leave a mess. In fact, we clean up more than, our mess and leave it cleaner than we found it. I mean, that's the way I was raised. So that's what we do. But these city people that come in there, they don't give a crap. They'll leave their garbage everywhere and poop everywhere because, they'll be in tents or whatever. And the bathrooms aren't getting clean because of the cuts in budget.
Yeah. Well, they said that they were calling out the National Guard to pick up garbage in several occasions. Shanda, you're muted. Do you want to chime in here?
Yeah, so sorry, I was looking for, I see them talking about carbon in the chat, and I came across a really interesting article yesterday about how the prairies of the United States, Kansas, Nebraska, what was our prairie land in the 1800s? Well, that was hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, thousands of years old, and the root system in the sod was in some places 10 feet deep, 10 feet thick. That's how they would use them to make their mud huts back in the 1800s, because it was so thick. Well, what happened is when those farmers in the late 1800s and early 19th century, they plowed that shit up, they released all that carbon. And so the pictures are astounding of a guy standing in kind of a digged out trench where you could see the line of what was the sod and the root systems of our great prairie lands, and just how long and big it actually was. And that, how do we get that back in the earth? It's already been released into the atmosphere. There's no way we get that carbon back into the earth.
No,
Yeah.
but there's something you can do to help it. If you go to my channel and watch my interview with Leah Keith, she talks a lot about how to preserve the prairie lands, because I think we only have like 10% of the prairie left. Yeah. It's I don't quote me on that, but I know it's just a ridiculous.
Yeah, I was shocked with it.
Yeah. Do you remember the exact percentage? Because I don't, but it was really low.
Yeah, it was really low.
Yeah, that was a great interview, Chris. I think I was around to do that for you.
You did do that for me. I love talking. I just could listen to her talk forever.
My God. So we're killing the oceans. We're killing the prairies. We're killing the poles. So we're killing ourselves.
It's likely too late to do anything about it. There's so much built in already but I don't see any reason to rush it. I think instead of trying overkill to reverse it, I think there's so many unintended consequences of trying to solve the problem without looking at the problem as a whole, that we're better off doing less and living locally and just stop like living these lush lives the capitalistic lives that are destroying the planet. And we put a heavier footprint on per capita than the people that live like in Africa, and it's just sad. And people want to equal out that means we have to lower our standard of living to equal things out. They can't just raise their standard of living to match the United States and developed countries, because that would so increase the destruction of the world. So I think it's us that need to sacrifice.
I disagree with your statement.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay.
Here we go. I don't.
Here we go. Let's go.
I don't.
Come on.
I don't. Sock it to me, baby. No. I think that we're not lowering our standard of living. We're bettering our standard of living. That's what I'm going to look at it. I know that.
You know what? I think it would be way less stressful.
Yep.
And
exactly. That's my point. Yeah.
Yeah. In that way, yes, I think that's the kind of lifestyle I'd rather live, just simplifying the life instead of having to race to a job or, buy this and that from Costco, whatever.
That's what Joey and I are doing. We have
us too.
Better. Yeah.
Not everybody has that opportunity. So we're kind of blessed that way.
Yeah. No,
but there is opportunities if you look for them. There's always neighbors that aren't actually using their backyards that you could probably garden in. If you work together as a community, you can certainly do more than what we're doing right now, instead of all this individualism. Yeah. I mean, I have like tons of chickens, and I plan on sharing. We just got 8 more chickens and 3 roosters. We already had 4 chickens. Yeah. So we're gonna share our eggs with everybody. I don't eat the chickens. Yeah. I can't raise animals and kill them. That's just not who I am.
Good on you.
But the eggs, it's a good source of protein. I have gardens going everywhere. Not that I'm very capable of working them. I'm learning ways that doesn't take a lot of work, like garden
from the gardening.
Great, by the way, with potatoes. Beans and tomatoes. The other stuff I planted there didn't do so well, but those 3 things did really good with. I visited like 3 times over the summer.
This year with our garden, we've done so well getting away from the vegetables, getting away from the meats and everything. It's just really good. So I'm really
much better at that.
This has been a great dialogue, Chris. Thank you so much for and I hope this makes you feel good that you've got people out there like Max Blumenthal and Jimmy actually backing up what you've been saying for the last 4 fucking years.
It does make me feel better, because you can go back to my Cash for Clunkers video that I did on that whole process, and it's just a horrible.
You are you and people
scam.
You and people like you are actual stewards of our planet, and you're doing it in the right way, like John Ellis with the bees and Laura down there, and you're an example to all of us, and we appreciate it and so much.
Thank you.
So that's
thank
really
you
good. Yeah. What we got to move along. What the hell is that?
That's the sod I was just talking about.
Oh,
so that is how our prairie sod used to be, but all of that root system the carbon has been released into the atmosphere.
That's crazy.
Oh my gosh!
And wait till the oceans start releasing even more. I mean, they've held on to as much carbon as they possibly. Yeah, they already are, but yeah, there's a mess.
This is
The oceans
crazy.
are a mess.
Yeah. What do we got? Weather?
We got a weather report. We got a Category 4 hurricane that's going to make landfall today.
Oh yeah, I've heard about that.
Oh,
And it
wow.
might even hit. Is it a 5?
It might be a 5 when it hits New Orleans.
All this good news. Let's hear what they got to say.
Hurricane Delta has rapidly intensified into a Category 4 storm,
Oh, shit.
with winds increasing threefold in under 24 hours. Alabama declared a state of emergency on Tuesday, but the storm is likely to hit Cancun the hardest.
Uh-oh.
Mexico is expecting a direct hit overnight. Water levels could rise by 9 feet over normal tide
9
levels
feet.
in some areas. The U.S. National Hurricane Center has called this storm life-threatening and extremely
Oh, my
dangerous. For more on this, I want to bring in CBS News meteorologist and climate specialist Jeff Biradelli. Jeff, thanks very much for joining us. Where is Hurricane Delta right now, and where is it headed?
All right, so the storm is located across the Caribbean, and it's going to make landfall in Cancun and Cozumel tomorrow morning. Now, the folks in Cancun and Cozumel, and if you're watching us right now from there, you've been hit by hurricanes. But I have to tell you, when we talk about life-threatening, the National Hurricane Center mentions the words life-threatening. They do that often enough with large storms. But I can tell you this, if you're watching from there right now, you've likely never experienced a hurricane this strong before in your life. So take it seriously, because this is going to be a deadly storm, unfortunately, in some cases, and it is going to be catastrophic in terms of the amount of damage it causes. Just fair warning there, take this seriously. All right, taking a look at the storm right now, you can see it's located way to the south of Florida. So there's Tampa, there's Miami.
Look at that.
This is Cancun and Cozumel. Now notice over the past couple of frames that the storm starts to become a little more circular.
I can't believe they mentioned climate change.
You can see
later
the
in this.
eye, very small eye, but penetrating a little bit more. That means the storm is actually starting to strengthen once again. Winds are 145 miles an hour. It's forecast to make landfall with winds of 155, right on the cusp of a Cat 5. So it is very possible, maybe even probable, it will get to Category 5 status, the strongest of storms. As we zoom in, you can clearly see how the wind field is expanding. You can see that this eye is becoming a little bit more clear. That's characteristic of a storm that is stronger. This is the official forecast track from the National Hurricane Center. 155-mile-an-hour winds making landfall early tomorrow morning around sunrise. Cancun, Cozumel, somewhere in that zone. Then weakening as it moves over the Yucatan. However, watch what happens over the Gulf of Mexico.
Watch.
It re-strengthens to a Category 4 once again with winds of 130 miles an hour. And it kind of swings west and then swings back north, and look at where it is going to make landfall. In Louisiana once again.
Bye-bye.
A lot of storms this year in Louisiana. And this one could be Morgan City, could be Cameron. This will be Friday night. It could be a Cat 3, maybe a borderline Cat 4. And what that means is the possibility, once again, of storm surge 10 to 15 plus feet. And obviously wind gusts over 130 miles an hour. So once again, this is going to be a very damaging.
I think it's going to be worse than that.
That's insane, because think about that 10 to 15 foot storm surge in Louisiana. Morgan City has already been devastated by, I don't even know how many hurricanes this year, 5?
How many times do you think they can keep rebuilding and rebuilding rebuilding? And think of how much materials and everything it's going to take, and how much that's going to take from the environment. And then there's California to add on to that. We need to at some point stop rebuilding and start realizing that we shouldn't be adding to the population. We should be reducing it, and we should leave some of the natural areas alone and have them no-go zones, so that the wildlife and the
what's scary about this is there's so many oil platforms off of the coast of Louisiana. Yeah. That is one of the main industries in Louisiana.
Our oceans
are
there
for numerous years. Yeah, I mean, what happens when one of these gets just annihilated by one of these hurricanes? Are we going to be pumping crude oil again into the Gulf of Mexico?
Of course.
When we start,
and they don't even think twice about it. Oh well, it'll all dilute enough. It's no problem. But I was watching this at 2:30 in the morning, if you can call that morning, because my damn. I was watching it live on CBS.
Oh my God, yeah. No, I just think when we start getting these size weather annihilating events happening along the coast where the nuke plants are.
Oh yeah, it's going to happen later in that same story. Was that the natural end of that clip? Because
I cut it.
Okay, later on, it was talking about how unusual this. Or how the storms have been increasing in strength and all that over time, and it's just incredible since the 1980s how much the storms have increased in the amount and the strength of them. So if you get a chance to watch that whole thing, you should.
Yeah,
I can't believe I was waking up at 2:30.
yeah, they play it at 2:30 night.
But I couldn't believe they actually mentioned climate change in there. That gal, she's so
they're not supposed to say that. They're not supposed
on
to say that.
CBSN, because that's the Republican side.
Yeah. I know, but she actually asked the climatologist about climate change. And she's like, what role does climate change play in that? And he was actually pretty honest about it. He said in a couple decades, we would raise a couple of degrees. I think that's still optimistic, but that's way more than what most channels will admit to.
I think Kevin would agree with you. Yeah, absolutely, Chris. Moving right along, Chanda.
Amos is in the house.
Amos is in the house. Good morning.
Hey, Amos.
Hi,
Long time no see.
Or afternoon, I think it's
progressive update. That would be almost. So, what do you got there, Chanda? Are you people punking you for your nails or what?
No, I've had this. You get your Facebook memories. I've had this in my memories for the last 10 years, and I still love it. It says the next time you judge someone using food stamps, she does her own nails herself. Her phone was a Christmas gift from her dad for the last 3 years. Her bag is a knockoff. Her car belongs to her mom. Her son's brand new name brand clothes come from Goodwill. She works 2 jobs. Forgive her for not looking poor enough for your stereotypical view of poverty. I forget that I'm required to dress in rags in order to appease your prejudice. And I just think that's so important.
I love that because I was on food stamps when after I got my divorce, and I was a young single mom for a very short time, like 6 months. But I hated the judgment, and I was in hair school, so I did my own nails, I did my own hair, and I had hand-me-down clothes. I had clothes that I had in high school that I just made look as good as I could, and people do judge you really harshly.
Yeah, nobody likes to stand in that line with that.
No.
Well, back in the day with food
it was
stamps,
actual
stamps. You had to lay them out and they'd stamp them. But nowadays,
it's a card and you can't even tell you're using
right. But
card.
Still, nobody nobody is prideful enough to be standing in line using those things if they didn't need to. And so, it's just a reminder: don't prejudge people by their looks, because just because I dress in nice clothes and I know how to take care of myself doesn't mean that I'm not struggling, and so are others.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah. I don't think we have to worry about food bank lines too much longer because they're running out of food.
Yeah, I was just at the food bank last week. They gave me a lot of great home local grown produce. I was so shocked. Beets and Swiss chard, and I'm really proud of our food bank. For many, many years when my kids were young, we would go there and they'd give us cakes and cookies and tons of bread and cans of ravioli, stuff like that. They're not giving out that type of stuff anymore. It's natural butter, it's non-fat milks, it's dairy, and it's mostly fruits and vegetables. So they are starting to shift. I see a shift.
Good. That's the plus. Is this our friend Richard Wolf?
Oh my gosh. And yes, you guys are going to love this clip.
All right.
Okay. I might have to
go ahead and get up. Go run around.
Yeah, stand up. Go.
I'm getting cramps in my legs. It's very uncomfortable.
Okay, go for it. Get up. Yeah, we'll run this clip. It's 4 minutes.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Oh shit. Sorry. I guess I could have cut the intro.
Welcome, friends, to another edition of Economic Update, weekly program devoted to the economic dimensions of our lives, jobs, debts, incomes, our own, our children's. And I'm your host, Richard Wolf. Before jumping into the economic updates I had planned for today, I learned about something this morning that I wanted to tell you about. It has to do with the frontline healthcare workers that are called upon for literally heroic actions over the last 6 or 7 months to deal with this pandemic, to pick up the hard work of dealing with it that our leaders failed so desperately to prepare for. And I'm particularly interested in a story that came out of New York City, where Communications Workers of America, a union, Local 1180, represents the administrative managers in the New York Municipal Hospital System. And I learned about this from a frequent guest on this show, Bob Henley, a reporter for the newspaper Chief Leader, which is carrying this story. The administrative managers have among their other tasks to provide doctors and nurses with personal protective equipment, absolutely crucial in this era when at least 1,000 healthcare workers have already died of COVID from the exposure their work involved. They were told to give the masks to the nurses and doctors, which they did. And they were also told by the hierarchy of the Health and Hospitals Corporation that they were prohibited from wearing the masks. Whatever lunatic mentality would do that. So they didn't wear them. And at least one woman worker, administrative manager, has now died of COVID that she contracted, perhaps, probably, because she wasn't allowed to wear a mask. Not a shortage of masks, but instead the ranking, the way we organize every factory, every store, every office. Those on top who give the orders, those in the middle give some orders, take some orders, and then the majority at the bottom who just take the order. We're not going through this crisis of virus together, are we? We have a capitalist ranking system based in our enterprises that then gets reproduced in our public institutions like health and hospitals. That rank order, who gets the equipment and who doesn't, who lives and who dies. It's a statement about a system that is quintessentially incapable of dealing with this kind of a crisis, even in the most basic human way.
Okay, so now before Jilly loses her shit about us masturbating, I didn't bring this clip to debate the mask. I brought this clip to point out that with our hierarchy structure of exactly what he said, you know, those at the top and giving orders to those in the middle, giving orders to those at the bottom, is why we cannot tackle this as a country, and we're not going to.
No, it's too much bureaucracy gone on steroids. This is fucking crazy. So again, we've got to take back our country. Chris is walking her cramps off there.
Yeah,
we're just going to leave her chair there. And no, that was a good one. I'm going to skip the MSNBS thing, but what's this with Chris Hedges here?
Just a great Chris Hedges means it's like corporations are not
concerned with the common good. They exploit, they pollute, they impoverish, they repress, they kill, they lie to make money, they throw poor people out of homes, let the uninsured die, wage useless wars for profit, poison, pollute ecosystems, slash social assistance programs, gut public education, trash the global economy, plunder the U.S. Treasury, and crush all popular movements that seek justice for working men and women. They worship money and power. Chris Hedges, yeah, I mean, Chris just lays it out there like so many others do, and I think that's true. And bottom line is, we better wake up and start doing stuff about it. I was going to run this, but MSNBC basically there is running puff pieces and softballing Joe Biden. They had an hour-long Joe Biden telethon the other day. It was supposed to be a forum and an interview.
Oh yeah, you had a town hall last night.
Total bullshit. So and they're just wearing it out of the sleeves. What do we got? This is from you, Shane.
This is short. It's only like a 1-minute clip.
Yeah, let's run this, and we're at the top of the hour now, so we want to run through this real quick. Good show. Thanks everybody in the chat. You've been chatting it up really good. So keep up.
So
chatting.
Hey, here we go, everybody. Hey, headline in Politico: half of Americans don't vote. What are they thinking? I don't know. They're probably thinking whether they're going to pay rent or buy groceries.
Usually.
That's what they're probably thinking, Politico.
God, I can't stand Politico.
Maybe that's our fake. Maybe they're thinking that our fake democracy was bought and sold by special interests years ago.
Thank you, Chris.
Or honestly, it could be, I already voted in American Idol, so I feel like I did my part. I think that's probably what they're thinking.
This was hilarious. I did watch this morning. It was good.
Well, let's see why. Let's look in. Let's take a dive.
Oh, he said
Oh, he's taking a dive. He shout out to Daily Dive.
Eligible voters make it a potential wild card in the 2020 presidential election. So that's what we always hear us saying. 100 million people don't vote. So I guess the exact number is 92, according to Politico. We round up here at the Jimmy Dore Show. So there are 92 million people who are eligible to vote in America that don't vote.
Oh my God.
And what did the Democrats do at their convention? Did they reach out to those people?
Yeah. No.
Who did they reach out to? They reached out to Republicans. People who are already voting Republican.
Already.
That's who they're trying to get to vote for them, not the 92 million people who don't vote. But remember, if Biden loses, it's the Green Party's fault.
It's the Green Party's fault.
Yes.
So that's my message for the day.
Who are they going to dig up?
Always the Green Party's fault.
Yeah, well, I think they're going to.
Always the Green Party's fault.
They're going to pull out stops. They're going to blame Nader, Jill Stein, Susan Sarandon, and the Bernie Bros too.
Yeah.
And
they don't blame the Libertarian Party that
gets more votes.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. But Russia,
I don't understand. People think for yourselves and do the math. It's not hard.
Even
I'm
if you took
not a
the
math
6% and the 3% and you added it together, it still wouldn't have helped the Democrats beat Trump.
Yeah, I mean, this has been belabored forever. I don't want to have 4 more years of Russia did it. I'm sick.
I really don't want 4 more. But now did anyone catch a news story this morning? They were talking about the greatest threats, and it was Russia, China, and so there was another one, but the way they were talking about China and taking over the supply chain, they didn't even go deep enough. I mean, they talked about how they were hoarding masks and medical supplies, but they weren't talking about the Chinese Belt and Road Initiative that's really taking over the transportation and the supply chain. They are buying up the inland port here in Utah, and there's one in California that they're buying up. They're also buying up farmland so they can ship food that they grow here with our water supply, our precious water supply, and ship it back to themselves. They didn't even mention that, and that pisses me off. And I think more people need to understand what the Chinese Belt and Road Initiative is about.
Yes. I
think China is our greatest threat.
I think so too, Chris. I think so too. Russia backs China, but China is definitely scarier.
Yeah, and it's China's only a threat because we've been the world.
Because we allowed them. The Democrats handed them our fucking country on a silver platter for the last 30 years.
So did the Republicans,
and so did the Republicans.
Yeah.
Both did.
It hasn't helped that the USA has been the biggest world terrorist organization forever. So that doesn't help either. I mean,
and this is why I'm for no voting at all, or vote third party no matter who.
Right.
So don't give them the luxury of voting for them at all. Either side.
Don't have to vote for evil.
Yeah, I hope you guys come to the debate with Pasta and Jose on Thursday.
I don't think I could stomach it. I'll just catch highlights.
I'll be there dogpiling.
Yeah.
I just don't think.
What's this, Chris? Is they're going to blow up Mars or what?
Multiple bodies of water were found under the surface of Mars.
Oh, great. Now they're going to, that's how they're going to solve our water problem. But at the same time, they're going to be poisoning tons of water to build the ships to go to Mars. They're going to destroy more land just to go find some water to bring back to the U.S.
That's a great.
So they can sell it back to us.
That's a great Photoshop meme. I mean, they're already privatizing Mars. So there you go.
Why not? Why not? Nestle stole all the water.
What is this? Is this Breaking Bad?
This is. Are you ready to step up? Are you ready to do what's necessary in order to change it all? And most people aren't.
Who is this guy?
No, they're not. They're too selfish.
Anonymous.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
Let's check it out.
Oh, Marcus is here. Hey, Marcus.
Hey, Marcus.
And Dave Bell
is doing such an incredible job of eliminating all dissenting voices, failing to report the truth, failing to report anything objective or look at anything objectively, failing to do any true journalism at all, and completely selling the lie to the people. When you look at all that, It isn't like they don't tell us what's going on. You know, if people can't see what's going on, I mean, it's mass mind control. That's the only way I can describe it. It's mass mind control.
Social conditioning.
This is a full-blown
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Hunger Games type
And it is
society
Hunger
that they're
Games,
doing.
yes.
So it's a full beast system. You know, right now
They
we
train
have
you
a
from
choice.
children going to school to respect
And we're in a
authority so
position
they can
where-
make you do what they want.
Yep.
Yeah, we could easily,
And churches do the same thing.
quite easily, shut this whole system down. We have a choice. How many people are prepared to do that? Shut down all the scrying mirrors and just go back to being human beings again, because we have the opportunity to do that. We actually can physically, we have the physical ability to shut this whole system down and go back to normal. And we're always given that choice. How many people are prepared to do it? That's the question. This is really the final battle for freedom, folks, what we're facing right now. If we continue to comply with this, I mean, it's slavery. It's a slavery system that they're rolling out. They've forgotten that what they're dealing with here are just people. You're not dealing with the office of government or whatever. You're dealing with people, men in suits who are standing there doing this stuff to you, you know, and you're just putting up with it because, you know, you're not united with anybody around you. And most of the people around you are programmed by the television and they're living in fear. Well, ignorance is a choice these days. It really is. In this age of information, ignorance is absolutely a choice. And the best thing you can do, anybody can do, is to really start being grounded in themselves. I mean, and not just gathering food and preparing all that sort of stuff. Just be grounded in themselves. And as I've often said, you've got to be prepared to face infinity without flinching, folks. That's the only way to get through what's happening, is to walk the path of the warrior. You do what needs to be done when it needs to be done, and you are prepared to face infinity without flinching.
I just thought that was a good message.
I
and
like
think
that
it's
guy. Yeah.
So true.
Yeah.
I think it's so true. So many are living in fear and they know this system can't continue, but they're frozen in fear.
Yeah, and they don't know what to do. No one's giving them an instruction manual.
Right. Vote for Biden. That's the only instruction they've got.
And Biden, it stands for absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
So
You replace a scumbag with another scumbag. I don't get it. We're getting to the end of the show here tonight. We do have, and then we'll shout out to Marcus. Good news. We got some good news on this show, Marcus, like you guys do. So, Chanda, you brought this, and this is a big whale.
Yeah, I just want to remind everybody as we start closing these shows out what we're fighting for. And I found this little clip so profound. And these species, we think we're the ruling species on the planet, but really all we're doing is killing ourselves and killing everything.
We're dependent on every other species, so we're not so big.
These guys are so majestic and so beautiful. And, I live in the Pacific Northwest, the Strait of Juan de Fuca. So we have the killer whales up here. We have the greys, the humpbacks, and every day I hear that another one has been hit by a boat, or they're starving, or their stomachs are full of plastic. And it rips my soul out to know that we're doing this to these majestic creatures. But these sperm whales are amazing. I didn't know this information about sperm whales. So I wanted to share this.
Sperm whale can click at about 236 decibels. It's the loudest animal on the planet. Sperm whales can hear each other in the ocean from hundreds, even thousands of miles away. Some researchers believe that they're able to keep in contact with one another through these clicks on other sides of the planet. These clicks are so powerful in the water that they can blow out your eardrums easily, and they could actually vibrate a human body to death. So when you're diving with them, it's a little sketchy. What I'm going to show you now is a video of some free divers that I ended up hanging out with. I wasn't with them during this expedition, but I was. About 6 months later, we went on a trip together, and I had the same experience. So the clicks you're going to be hearing are not coming from a boat. They aren't coming from a camera. These are the whales clicking these guys literally from the inside out to see what they're all about. And the clicks were so powerful that one of these guys put out his hand to stop a whale from running into him, and his hand actually was paralyzed for about 4 hours afterwards. So he learned not to keep out his hand in front of him when he was diving. This is an emerging discipline of research, and it's pretty sketchy. But this is what it's like. I'm not going to talk over this. We're going to play this kind of loud so you can really get an experience of what this is all about. There we go. Okay. So you're going to notice the whale's going to flip on its belly. That's where it collects those echoes underneath its jaw. They don't use ears underwater. So he's getting a really good look at him right now. He's diving down now.
I just thought that was really interesting to hear their clicks. I didn't realize they were the loudest creature on Earth. I mean, I'm sure I'd been told that, but the military has been using their magnetic weaponry up here, and we now are starting to get scientific proof that it is messing with the whales' sonar and how they communicate and how they move, how they travel, and we're killing them.
It's really sad. When people say all lives matter, I know they're saying all human lives matter, but I think all lives matter, like from every species, like down to the microorganisms that we need to survive. So,
Here.
I do think Black Lives Matter too, and I think they should probably add the 2, so there's not so much controversy about it. Yeah. It's so silly that fight when all these other lives are being destroyed and
just make it easy. Just say all life matters, period.
All life. Yes.
Yeah, and don't use it in the political sense. Yeah. I mean, we know what we've got, everything going on. So that's just a profound.
Both those hashtags are meant to butt you up again. I don't think the BLM really is meant to cause that kind of controversy.
I don't believe it either. It's just.
But the all lives matter and the blue lives matter and all that, they were definitely causing controversy, and it's kind of hypocritical to say blue lives matter and say that Black lives don't matter. Like Black lives are terrorists and
and blue life, that's a choice, that's a career. You're not born with blue skin, you're not born a cop. So
great point.
Shanda, what did you bring our first person here for?
Melania says, I'll be okay, it's not the first virus he's given me.
Oh my god, that's terrible.
Can't read.
Oh my god.
Marcus says humans are too ignorant to see those animals have a language. Yeah, they are.
They're oh my god, our J-Pod up here just had a baby, and they literally threw a party. The whales swam from miles and miles to meet up and have a party to celebrate the birth of their new baby. The grandparents babysit the younger ones while the parents are out hunting. They're so smart.
Even cows do that. Like cows will have like one mom cow watching over like 10 baby cows while the other cows are going and eating. And horses have a society, a culture, and everything. People,
they do.
They just don't take the time to watch and learn from.
So arrogant,
It's
so arrogant. I think Marcus is totally 100% correct on that.
Yeah, I want to thank everybody for joining us today.
I don't know what happened. There's Mormons talked about in the comments, and I wish I seen it, but LDS people, Mormons,
I know.
That's my territory here in Utah.
Yeah, well,
I get to deal with those.
Thank you so much, Chris, for joining us today.
Well, thank you for having me.
You on
I'll
here.
try to make it every Wednesday. Sometimes I just can't.
Wonderful.
No, we get it. And we know it's, we've already gone a little longer than we normally do. It's a long time to sit.
Yeah, and my back is killing me. I'm going to get really twitchy and wiggly soon.
Yeah, no, that was
Dancing
great.
to
So I just want to shout out to everybody in chat. Thank you guys for fighting politely and getting along and patting each other on the back. And we are not a choir. Thank you so much. We have Progressive Update. Amos, I'm going to give you a ring here in a little bit. Today at, I'm hoping to do it a little earlier, because we're going to go straight into the, whatever that is tonight, a debate, they call that thing.
The shit show.
Shanda and I, and anybody wants to join, just send me an email.
But it almost has Dr. Amy Baxter on today, right?
And almost has Dr. Amy Baxter on, so we're gonna talk. Nice. Let's hear what they've got to say. Thank you, Barbara.
Some mass debating for
mass debating tonight. So, and then what's today? Wednesday. No dive in the morning. Thank goodness. I need a little break.
I need to sleep in.
I think
Me too.
I don't know.
I haven't slept for 2 nights, really.
And then we've got tomorrow night. We've got the big debate, 6 p.m. Pacific, with Jose Gloria and Pasta from Convo Couch, and then it's back Friday morning with the dive. Thank you so much. We got a song going out here. I don't think we're gonna get punked on this. Shanda picked it out. And this.
Well, I'm gonna head out, guys, during this song because
that's fine. Thank you.
No, Chris, we got it. Thank you so much for coming on with us. The chat just loves having you here. They're so happy to see you.
Yeah, for sure.
I miss the chat. I miss all you guys in the chat so bad. I just got to figure out how to.
We will see all you guys later today and
later on tonight.
And tonight. So
all right,
thanks.
Sounds good.
Have
Love
a good
y'all.
one. Thanks.
Have
Bye-bye.
a good one.
I was walking down the street when out the corner of my eye saw a pretty little thing approaching me. She said, I've never seen a man who looks so all alone, and could you use a little company? And if you pay the right price, your evening will be nice, but you can go and send me on my way. I said, you're such a sweet young thing, why do you do this to yourself? She looked at me, and this is what she said. She said, there ain't no rest for the wicked. Money don't grow on trees. I got bills to pay, I got mouths to feed, but there ain't nothing in this world for free. No, I can't slow down, I can't hold back, though I know I wish I could. But there ain't no rest for the wicked till we close our eyes for good. 15 minutes later, after walking down the street, I saw a shadow of a man creep out of sight. He swept up from behind and put a gun up to my head. He made it clear he wasn't looking for a fight. He said, give me all you got, I want your money, not your life. But if you try to make a move, I won't think twice. You can have my cash, but first you know I gotta ask, what made you wanna live this kind of life? And he said, there ain't no rest for the wicked. Money don't grow on trees. I got bills to pay, I got mouths to feed, but there ain't nothing in this world for free. Can't slow down, I can't hold back, though I know I wish I could. But there ain't no rest for the wicked till we close our eyes for good. Just a couple hours later, I was sitting at my house. The day was winding down and coming to an end. I turned on the TV and flipped it over to the news, and what I saw I almost couldn't comprehend. A preacher man in cuffs, he's taking money from the church. He stuffed his bank account with righteous dollar bills. But still I can't say much because I know we're all the same, and yeah, we all seek out to satisfy those thrills. Yeah, there ain't no rest for the wicked. Money don't grow on trees. I got bills to pay, I got mouths to feed, but there ain't nothing in this world for free. And no, I can't slow down, can't hold back, though I know I wish I